What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Becoming an Actor podcast. And today I'm joined. She just started. Today I'm joined by one of the world's fastest rising stars,
stop
Ama
it.
Qamata.
Stop. I don't know, a whole world rising star. Come on.
Worldwide rising star, worldwide celebrity.
I'll take it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. But it is though. I mean, you're on a massive Netflix show now.
We're on an
We are.
I like how you speak as if it's just me.
I forgot I'm
We're on like a massive Netflix show. Yes, we are.
But you're leading the show. I mean, there's a difference. We are not on the same level. You know what I mean?
I don't know. You said it.
Okay. I want to start this off by when we met, right? When we met the first time. So we're shooting season 1 of Blood and Water.
Yes.
I remember, I think you had 1,856 followers on Instagram, right?
That's very specific.
I remember, I've got a photographic memory,
okay.
right? Fast forward to today, and that was like 2019. Fast forward to today, I checked yesterday, you are approaching 900,000 followers on Instagram.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
How does that feel?
It feels crazy, I think, because I'm not really checking for that, I guess. And it's crazy because like before I started like acting, well, not before I started acting, but before people actually got to know me. Yeah. I remember like just in terms of Instagram, people would be like, just try create more content to get more followers and, you know, just make yourself more visible. And I was always like, that's not really me. I feel like if people follow me, people are going to follow me through my work. Yes. That's always been like my principle. I'm like, people will know me.
Making it happen organically.
Do you get what I'm saying? And through acting, like I've always like had that thing of like, people are going to follow me because they've watched me on TV and they're going to want to know who this girl is. And I guess that's kind of how it happened. People watched my shows and they really liked and they wanted to see what I do on a daily basis and who I am and get to know me personally. And I guess that's how that happened. But I don't really pay attention to that too much. That's more of like my management and my team. They're like more on like that.
So I spoke about the followers, but the real thing that's important is like you've become a massive star in a sense of like you're on this massive show on Blood and Water on Netflix. You're the lead there. You're on Gomorrah as well, playing a character there, which is a massive show as well, like massive audiences. Yeah. And it basically feels like an overnight success. Like it was just like all of a sudden you were just Ama.
Yeah. And then I just
these shows start dropping and now you Ama. Yeah. You know? And that's what I want to get to is like the change that goes through it, because obviously this is something you've been dreaming of like
since I was a kid.
Since you were a kid. Yeah. And now it's here and like it's happened very quick. It's been like 3 years already that you've been doing it, but it happened very quick. How has that journey been for you? I remember seeing you like season 2 of Blood and Water, and I'm just thinking, like, your life has changed, man. Your life has completely changed. Yeah, how's it been?
It definitely has. And what's crazy is that those 2 shows came out the same year. Yeah. So Gomorrah came out 2020, Blood and Water came out 2020. Yeah. It was crazy, and I feel like Gomorrah kind of prepared me for what Netflix
was about to come.
What was about to come, because Gomorrah, it was a huge show, but I think I wasn't as prominent on the show. I think people just got familiar with my face, getting to know who I was.
It was a good, easy introduction.
It was a very nice introduction for me, and just in terms of interacting with people as well. Yeah. And getting used to, you know, people DMing me and getting followers as well. And then as soon as Blood and Water came out, I mean, that was
just shot up.
I can never explain what that feeling was. And I was actually on set, and I'm so grateful for that, because while that whole thing was happening, I was completely busy. Yeah. But I just remember my phone like was frozen. But like at some point I couldn't even like access Instagram because it was just
notifications.
Like, you get what I'm saying? And people from Brazil, people from like France, and people like sending me messages like, "Oh my gosh, we love your show." Wow, that was insane. And I feel like it does. I think to people watching, it does seem like an overnight success. But I've been doing this since I was 17.
Wow, yeah.
Just waiting and hoping to get like a break. And I think I've always kind of believed that it would happen. Yeah, you know, like I've always really. Even going to Blood and Water, it wasn't an easy. I think you were there. Yeah. The fact that I had to drop out of school. Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that as well. Yeah.
But it wasn't an easy journey. Yeah. Getting into it, but I think everything worked out exactly how it was meant to.
Worth it?
100% worth it. Because it's where I wanted to be. Yeah. You know, but I think my journey, I've always been like pushed to kind of make decisions right on the spot. Even now, I'm going through something where I have to let go of an opportunity in order to like pursue something bigger. I don't know what that might be, but I kind of just have to believe in myself and believe and trust that it will happen.
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened with Blood and Water. I didn't know where that was going to take me.
Yeah,
but I kind of just had to trust that, okay, let me just go for it. And I don't know if you knew, but like for me, when we were shooting, I didn't know how big the show was.
Had no idea.
We were
just like a bunch of young kids.
You get
like,
what I'm saying? It was so much fun. Yeah. It was like, there was no concept of like, we're shooting a Netflix show and like, it was just a show.
And everyone was like, there were a couple of famous people, but most of us were just like, you know,
like it was like, we're just starting out. It was fun.
Yeah.
And I think when the show like dropped, it was like, whoa, what is this?
All of a sudden now you're big celebrity, baby.
Exactly.
Wow.
Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you're enjoying the podcast. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to let you know that my book, Becoming an Actor, is available on my site right now. It contains all the lessons I've learned, all the mistakes I've made, and everything you need to know to start your journey towards becoming an actor. Check it out. Thanks.
You spoke a lot about now, like you've always believed in this. You've always sort of visualized it. I remember in season 1. So
I feel like I know what you're going to say.
And you know the story because I've told you this before.
You told me this. I know exactly what you're going to say.
Ama walks in, right? And now I've been doing this for like 5-6 years already. I feel I'm like a veteran, right? And Ama walks in and like, Peter, and she's cute and she's fired up and whatever. Very enthusiastic, very passionate. But you start talking about when you and your mother, you guys went to New York and you're in Times Square, and she's like talking about, we were standing there looking at the billboards, and I told my mother that one day I'm gonna be on that billboard.
I know
I remember hearing the story, and let me also just preface by saying I wasn't necessarily in the best space that I could have been. I was like very sort of I wasn't very positive. Let me say, and Ahmad starts talking about this, and I just think, you might be a little bit delusional.
Arrogant,
maybe arrogant, maybe delusional. And then I saw the next 3 years play out, right? From then, or the next 2 years. And you keep on going from strength to strength. You building a career, you becoming bigger, you're doing amazing work.
Thank you.
And I start seeing, okay, maybe she wasn't delusional.
I wasn't that crazy.
And that's why at the beginning I said this new worldwide rising star is because now I realize that is just like prefacing the rest of your life into like, that's where I want to be. I'm visualizing this is like, that is my dream.
Yeah.
And I think maybe you can just attest to it as well. It's like, do you think these things have been happening because you've always believed in it like that? You've been visualizing this to happen, and that's why it happened so fast as well. Well, not fast. You said you were doing it for a couple of years, but other people are still studying. You 21, 22 now?
I'm 23.
23 now, right? No?
Yes. I'm 23.
Look at your life. Other 23-year-olds are still like studying, trying to figure it out. Things are happening for you.
Yeah.
Do you sort of, what's the word? Would you say that is because of that belief, that visualization, that truly backing yourself?
Yeah, I believe that's plays a huge part in it. Yeah. Even with Blood and Water, I remember that year specifically. So the year before that, which was 2018, I had like gotten roles, but it was very small roles, like cameos, nothing really big.
Yeah,
not even supporting.
Nothing that makes you feel like I'm an actress now.
No, you know that feeling, like I'm just like doing this.
It's like I'm getting lunch and a little paycheck, but I'm not an actor yet. I'm not.
Exactly, you get it.
Yeah.
So I was getting those kind of roles, like, and I was just, oh man, I remember praying because every year, like on like the first day of the year, 1st of Jan, I always pray. That's like a tradition of mine. I set my goals, what I want to do, what I want to achieve for the year.
Wow.
And I remember that year specifically, I prayed, I'm like, God, I want a lead role.
Sure.
I'm tired of being the cameo.
Yeah, I need this.
I need to be the lead. In a story, I really need to see if I can do it, if I'm able to pull it off.
Yeah.
And then Blood and Water happened. And I wasn't specific in terms of what platform I wanted to do it. It could have been like a theater. It could have been anything. But then that happened. But 100%, like a lot of my life,
visualization, manifestation,
1,000%, like a lot of my life is like I have visualized it. I've said that this is what I want to happen. Even now, I don't think I'm allowed to like speak about it right now, but I don't know when this will come out.
Yeah.
But there's like a brand.
We'll edit it out. It's fine.
Yeah. But there's Adidas, basically. is a brand that I'm working with now, and it's something I've always wanted to do since I don't know
that's
when.
That's insane. I mean,
dude,
just think about you 3 years ago, and now you're working with Adidas.
No, but the fact that like I had a meeting with them the other day, and they were like just saying how they really believe in me. They really think like I could, you know, be the next voice of the generation. I'm like, so what the hell is this? Yeah. But it's crazy because I said this, bro. And the thing is, like, I have witnesses. Yeah. Like, I have people that I have had conversations with, and I'm like, watch. 3 years from now, this is what's going to happen. I want this to happen in my life. And to actually see that happening and to actually tick those boxes, even the Times Square thing, it sounds insane. Yeah.
But in my heart, I'm waiting for it. Like, honestly,
like
I'm
in my
waiting
heart,
for
I
it.
really, really want that to happen. Yeah. Like, to actually see my face, a South African, a young South African girl.
I really think it will.
Fingers crossed. But like to see a young South African girl on Times Square. Yeah. Like, what, like, that's what? Insane. And when that happens, it will be like a thing. I'll come to you and I'll be like, bro, remember I said that to you? Yeah?
You remember when you thought I was
when you thought I was delusional?
You're going to see me now. You're going to see me now. Wow.
Exactly. So I think a lot of it has been like just visualizing it, speaking it into its existence. A lot of it is prayer. I'm very spiritual. And even when the whole thing of Blood and Water happened, I remember just before the show dropped, I just had this urge to really get my relationship with God right.
Yeah.
Like the strong urge to like get closer to him. Yeah. And, you know, I seeked out guidance, seeked out like people who were like deeper in their faith in me. And they really helped me guide me through like everything that happened, like the turmoil.
Because it's a
huge adjustment. And I didn't want to feel myself. Like I didn't want to feel like, I'm happening or I'm the...
Never get caught up in your own hype. Bro.
Never get caught up in the sauce.
Yeah.
You know, don't get caught up in the sauce. And, I'm really glad I did that because I think that grounded me, that gave me a sense of purpose as well, made me realize that everything I'm doing is much bigger than me. Yeah. Like I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it to represent like a whole generation. I think with even Blood and Water, when it came out, a lot of young girls were like, oh my God, we get to see like a dark skin lead on Netflix.
That's the beauty of Blood and Water. Exactly. Is that representation all of a sudden.
Yeah. So just seeing that, you know, the vision is much bigger than like achieving my own personal goals, but actually showing people that it is possible, like you can do it. It's not that, it is difficult, but it's not impossible. Yeah.
You said like, you know, you've been doing this for long, and has it been a dream since you were a kid? Like when you were real?
Yeah. I've never wanted to do anything but acting.
How did it start? What
Dude, I can't even tell you where it started. Like I can't even say like a specific moment where I'm like, oh, this has been, it clicked for me.
Yeah.
I guess I was just always a kid who was very dramatic. I loved performing. I loved dancing, actually. I think maybe that's how I started. I loved dancing.
You always joke you have no rhythm and you can't dance.
I actually can dance. It's a joke. I can dance. So it started as like dancing. I'd always like dance and I'd always practice that. Yeah. And I loved like performing for my family. So I'd just make them watch me. Like every time everyone was around, I'd be like, okay, cool guys, I've like prepared this routine. Just like watch this. And then acting came like as I would like participate in like school plays and productions. And I remember specifically, actually I remember when it clicked was when I was 10 years old and I played Snow White. And I got cast as Snow White, which was like quite a huge controversy at the school because people were like, how can a black girl be Snow White?
Yeah.
You know, and my teacher, my drama teacher, Mr. Simpson, shout out Mr. Simpson.
What's up?
He really believed in me.
Oh, wow.
Like he really, really believed in me. Like I was 10 and he was just like, yo, like you have something special. Like you should actually look into this. And I remember like even I got an award at school. It was my first time ever getting an award for anything. And he actually created the award. It was the Andrew Simpson Arts Award. And I still have it. I should have brought it, but I still have it.
Next time.
Exactly. And he basically said when he had that award, he was like, this girl is so talented. Like she's going to go so far with like, you know, her talent. And he even said, I quote, he was like, I would not be surprised if she won an Academy Award one day.
Oh, wow.
And then the entire hall just started chanting, Ama, Ama, Ama. And I was like, guys.
Okay. Then you have to know.
You get what I'm saying? It was like, nah, I think this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah. There's a part in the book where I talk about like being honest with yourself. And it's a difficult thing because a lot of kids grow up with like doing all of these Eisteddfods and things, and their moms might push them into like acting and whatever. And they think they're good.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, and it is sad. It really is sad. It breaks my heart sometimes that, you know, this kid grows up with this idea of, I want to be an actor, but it's difficult to gauge if you really should be doing that. And in the book, I like talk about like finding a mentor, someone who can give you honest feedback, not your parents, not your family, someone who knows, who can give you real honest feedback.
Definitely.
Because you don't want to waste your time with something that, like, I realized I'm never going to be a rugby player, right? I loved it. I wanted to be a rugby player.
I don't know, that is so funny to me.
But I realized, like, dude, like, you're really not that good. like
that's very
maybe,
honest.
Like, maybe try something else. And that's when I went to drama and found out, okay, wow, this is actually what I really love doing and my calling. Thank you so much. But with that, it's like somewhere along the line, you need to make the call of like, is this really what I'm supposed to do? And now for you, I mean, you went to go study. We'll get into like, you didn't finish eventually with the degree, but you made the decision to go study. Was that because you really thought like, I'm gonna make this is my life. I'm gonna make it work. Is that why you eventually went to go and study then? Was that a difficult choice? Because you obviously know it's a weird industry. It's a bit up and down.
Yeah.
How did you convince yourself like, I
want to go study?
Yeah.
It's a bit of both. One reason was because I just wanted something to do.
Okay.
Honestly, that was actually the biggest reason why I decided to go to school.
Yeah.
Because I think as actors, you know, you can really sit a long time without any work, with nothing. And that can be quite depressing. That can really make you doubt yourself as a person.
Draining, yeah.
So one of the big reasons why I decided to go to school was just so I could have something to do. And what better something to do than actually work on what I want to do.
But sort of in the back of your mind still like, I'm going to look for opportunities.
Yeah, 100%, 1,000%. Actually, I got accepted at like Rhodes, I got accepted at Wits in Cape Town.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I didn't go to Rhodes was because I would not be like able to go for auditions.
Okay.
So at the back of my mind, like I went to school, but the back of my mind was always that thing of like, I want to audition, I want to go after, like seek opportunities. So I didn't go to Wits because it was like close to home. And I just wanted to like.
You wanted to leave.
I wanted to leave the nest. I wanted to be on my own.
Cape Town life.
Exactly. So I decided on Cape Town.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked back ever since.
Wow. So now you're there. You're at UCT. You studying. You finished your first year, right?
Yes.
Finish your first year. Still trying to figure out what you're gonna do. You're still auditioning for things, and here comes Blood and Water, right? Now you're in the middle of your university year. And I remember, like, you told me about the whole thing, and I was like getting mad. It's like, why weren't they this and why this and I was like fighting against the university.
It was like a huge thing on set, right?
I was like, no, man, those people, man, I'll go there and whatever. And
everyone wanted to go to UCT.
It's like, I'll go teach them a lesson. This is not an attack on any universities. But,
no, definitely not.
But I want to, obviously, people find their ways into the industry in different ways, right? For some people, they go study first. For other people, they sort of just get into it all of a sudden. With you, you've got that perfect balance of like, you sort of started, that was the plan. And now you're caught between, okay, you're studying a degree. You obviously need to be in class, all of this. But now you've got a lead role on a massive show. What was that whole process like? Because I know it was a bit tough. It was a difficult situation.
I mean, you were there. You saw how that kind of tore me apart. I was so like, I don't know what to do. I was so like confused because I didn't understand, like, I'm there to study this.
Yeah.
Why can't you guys like let me do it? You know, there's a huge opportunity. Like, it made no sense to me that, and this is not an attack on like any university, but just expressing how I felt at that time. Was I genuinely didn't get it. I think I get it now in terms of like when you're in university. That's the thing about university. I think if you decide you want to go study, then that has to be a commitment 100%.
That's what you have to do. Yeah,
because
you need to be in class. You need to pass your tests.
And it's not like any other degree where you can, you know, skip classes and you know, you can catch up. When you do a theater degree, an acting degree, it's practical. So it has to be in person. You do voice classes, you do performance, you do things where they actually have to physically see you in order to be assessed. So with the schedule with Blood and Water and my schedule at school, it just was clashing. Because if you remember, like season 1, I was shooting every single day in every single scene. So I didn't have like time to actually, you know, attend classes. I think I tried to attend like 1 or 2 classes, but it didn't work.
And you're tired as well.
I was exhausted.
You're working. You're
exactly
working actress right now.
I was so tired by the time I got to class. So it didn't work for me. But I don't regret.
Yeah. I mean, looking back now, it's sort of
I don't regret like
things have worked out. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't regret, and it's crazy because it's not a decision that I feel like I took. I mean, obviously I took it, but it wasn't like my first option.
Yeah.
I actually considered not taking blood and water.
Yeah.
But my mom was just like, you are crazy. Like, this is a huge opportunity. Like, you can always go back to school. You can always go back and study. I mean, even when I'm 50 or 40, if I decide I want to go back to school, I can do that. But an opportunity like this, it's like once in a lifetime. And that's the thing with this industry. Like, with every opportunity, you really have to grab it with both hands. Because you never know where it will take you. Exactly, I didn't know that the show would be as big as it was. I didn't know, like, what the future held. I just had to believe in that moment.
And trust.
That because this would work out.
Now you're caught in, like, if I quit now, if I stop studying now, I'll maybe do this job, but what's going to happen next?
Yeah.
Like, and now I leave university, and then next year I was like hoping something was going to happen.
And then nothing happened.
But it's too late for me to go back to university. Like, it's a difficult decision.
And the thing is, like, going back, I could go back, but the way it was set up, it was so complicated because it was like, okay, so if I leave university and I go do blood and water, they were like, okay, you can come back, but you can only come back second quarter of the year, of the following year. So it's like, what am I going to do for that first quarter? Exactly, like, am I just me sitting at home looking for jobs? And then when I do find a job, like, how's that going to happen?
Messes with that schedule again.
Do you get what I'm saying? It was like such a huge risk for me at the time. Dude, it was, oh my God, I didn't want to go back there. But even, I'm like, it's crazy how everything works out because, like, COVID happened the next year. Yeah. And people couldn't go to school anyway. Yeah. So it was like, oh my gosh. I was like, imagine if I had just like
stayed
at school and then
because you wanted to escape.
Because blood water became what it became. And here I was sitting at home.
Wow.
Because, so everything worked out the way it was meant to work out, honestly.
Would you say so obviously me, I started straight out of school, right? But I was lucky in a sense where I had people who could show me some of the ropes and help me out and put me in touch with the right people, right? But the first show I did, that was sort of my learning experience, like learning about acting, learning about technique, learning about all these things. And that became my university, right? And obviously I'm biased in a sense where I feel like I'm not sure if a university can teach me that, like in terms of acting. And it's difficult as well. You don't want to bash universities, but from your experience, what would you say? You had a bit of that experience. You had on-set experience. What's the difference, and what are the benefits of both? Why would you recommend someone go study if they want to become an actor? Why would you recommend someone just going straight into it if it is possible, if that opportunity is there?
No, it definitely is possible.
Yeah.
I think university gave me a discipline.
Cool.
Definitely like a certain discipline that I feel like being in the just going straight into it
I wouldn't have. Yeah.
Because like when you're in university, I mean, I think being on set, there's a certain, I mean, you know how being on set is. It's so like, it's a bubble, and you can really get lost in that bubble and really get comfortable in how things operate, with the fact that there's a cut, the fact that there's like ADs who are like fetching coffee for you, who are doing everything for you. And like university, you don't have that luxury, you have to do your own thing.
You start in the trenches.
Do you get what I'm saying? And like with university, we had to like kind of do everything. So first year I had to be a wardrobe assistant. Yeah. So I kind of know a bit about wardrobe and like ironing the clothes out, and I kind of know a bit about every single department. So I feel like university definitely gave me that discipline, and also in terms of acting, because oh my gosh, you have to have so much energy. Yeah. To actually perform, because if you go into university, especially in South Africa, unfortunately we don't have like a lot of universities that offer like television,
proper film and TV,
proper television training, film work training.
You've got AFTA and so, but that's your only option.
That's literally it.
I believe if there's anyone else, let us know. But we'll share the
as
info.
far as I know, it's just AFTA. And so a lot of the universities teach theater. And theater just has a certain discipline, man, that you just can't get like in television.
Anywhere else,
you are exhausted after you're on that stage. And there's just that like adrenaline. There's just that like, I don't know what it is. I can't describe it to people, but it's definitely a discipline. It's a discipline. It's a principle that like, it's just different. So I think it helps when you go into television, because you're not really, taken by the glitz and the glam. Like you really are there to work.
Yeah, you respect it more.
You respect it more. Exactly.
And like you said, you worked in those other departments as well. You learn to respect what they do as well.
Yeah.
Because it's
important.
important.
It takes a team.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that you said it. And we've said it before on podcasts as well. It's like sometimes people have this idea of like, I'm going to be the lead actor. I'm going to step on set and this is my show. This is my fucking show. It doesn't work like we're a team. We all need to work together to 100%. Create this bit of harmony that happens between action and cut. But if you're not doing your job, if you don't know your lines, then it doesn't matter that the camera guy showed up, because what are we supposed to film then?
Exactly.
The lighting guy doesn't show up. What are we going to do? Because you can't stand in the dark and say your lines. Like everyone has their part that they need to play.
The sound person.
Yeah.
Because sound, unfortunately, like they just get like, because
they always get the short end of the stick.
Yeah, because like we're shooting on location. Like we always have to do those ADR sessions. I feel so bad for them. But
sound is a difficult department
a very difficult
to work
department
in. And everyone's constantly irritated by you and you're always in the way. It's just never a good space to be in. It's never a good space to be in. Would you do theater as well? Would you do it again?
I'd love to do theater.
Is it?
I would love to do theater.
Yeah. Do you think you were able to do it?
I think I could, because I've done it.
Yeah.
That's where I've been trained.
Yeah.
I'm a theater trained actress.
And you've still got that. You'll still be.
I don't know if I've still got it. That's the thing. Is like I would like to test that out. Yeah. Like I would like to do it just to like do it.
Yeah.
Like I'm someone who I don't want to limit myself, you know. And if I suck at it, then I suck. But at least like I want to say that I did it.
I'm actually just asking because I'm scared. Like I would love to do it again, but I've spent the last 8-9 years to become the best film and TV actor that I can be. That I'll be scared if I have to step on stage again.
And I get where that anxiety and that fear comes from. And I think there's a lot of judgment and a lot of pressure from the industry in terms of like people really try to box you.
Yeah.
You know, you're a theater actress or you're a film actress. You can't just, or an actor, you can't just be an actor.
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of want to break that.
Yeah.
I think people are used to seeing me on television. It would be very interesting for people to actually come watch a show and see me on theater. I'm like, oh shit, she can do something else. She can perform live.
Yeah.
You know,
it sets you in a bit of a different
it
class.
It does,
then,
and I think it kind of
a lot of respect there.
Yeah, but besides that, I think for me, it's a challenge to myself. Like, I can do this, and I have done it. So why can't I do it again? You know.
I think the nice thing, the freedom of theater, where like because you look the way you look, and I look the way I look. In film and TV, I'm always sort of going to play the same type of characters. You know, there's not really a lot of time or budget to change a look or whatever. With theater, it's like you can explore a bit. You can play something completely different. I
could be a man.
Yeah, if you want to.
I could play a man.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want to. Yeah. But I went to a theater audition like 2 or 3 years ago, and I remember standing on stage, and you know, as a film and TV actor, you've got your mic on you always. You're not performing to an audience. You're performing to a little camera like this. That is your little audience, right? And I've really conditioned myself to be the best in that medium. Now I stand on stage, this massive space, a whole theater, and I just couldn't project. I couldn't get out. And it's important for people to know as well the difference in like performance style with these things. Like acting is acting, but it changes wherever you go. Like TV or Blood and Water will be different from a soapy, like let's say Generations or whatever. Or something like that. That is a soap. That's every night as well.
That's a novella. Yeah. It's every 6 days a week, 12 hours a day.
Wow.
Yep, 6 till 6.
No way.
1,000%.
Talk about the challenges of that. It's like it's fun. You this rising star. You're working actress, right? But you have to work for that.
Yeah, I have to get. I get up every day at 4, 4:30.
No way.
Every single morning at 4, 4:30. And if I have a full day on set, I'll get home at 7.
No way. And then you still need to learn lines for the next day.
And then I still have to prepare for the next day.
Talk about those challenges. Not just that, like the long hours and stuff, but acting isn't always glamorous.
No, it isn't.
What are the things you sort of struggle with? The things that I guess not irritate you, but that make it difficult.
Yeah, I guess that's one of it. It's not waking up at 4:30 in the morning every day. It's not easy.
Yeah,
you know,
you never really get used to it.
You never get. I mean, you do get used to it. I'm used to it now.
Is it?
To the point where even that's just like my body just naturally wakes up at that time, even if I'm not working.
Yeah,
but yeah, I guess that. But thank God I actually love what I do, because I can never imagine waking up at 4:30 for something I don't
that
enjoy.
you don't like. Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be torture.
It's draining.
Like that would be draining. But I guess that's one of it. I think there's a lot of things that happen on set that people don't really like get into or don't really know about, and it's fine. They're not supposed to. But being on set, it can be very hectic. It can be very draining.
A lot of politics, a lot of like things happening
just
behind the scenes.
Just a lot of little things that happen, and
a lot of ego sometimes as well. I think a lot of people, like, everyone's sort of fighting for attention to a certain extent, and it gets heated as well, because everyone's fighting for their own careers at the same time while trying to build a show, right?
Yeah.
That makes it difficult, right?
I hear you. That, and also I guess just I think the environment can be a lot. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
To be good, to look good.
Yeah.
To sound good, to have your lines, to really deliver that performance, to really, so I think one of the biggest things for me is to always just be alone. That really helps. And I don't know if you've like shot a scene with me before. I do like a serious scene or hectic scene, but I always ask for like time.
Yeah.
Like I've always been like, guys,
just give me 5 minutes.
Just give me 5 minutes before we call action. Can I just have a bit of, because another thing is like you get on sets and people obviously like doing their jobs.
Yeah.
And people can get so loud and like, it's they're supposed to do their
breaks
job.
me, yeah.
But it kind of like breaks my focus and like what I'm meant to do,
and now you need to cry,
and I need to cry, I need to be emotional, and it's like people are laughing like
about
what happened at lunch, and
making
like
jokes and showing memes and
saying?
whatever.
Like, oh my God, did you see that at lunch? And you're just like,
did you see that?
Do you get what I'm saying?
And
it's
meanwhile,
like,
you breaking down here in the corner.
I'm trying to focus.
Yeah.
So I think that's another thing. It's like it's not easy, you know, but
and that's focus. That's a lot of focus.
It's a lot of focus. That's why I'll bring my earphones.
Yeah.
Literally, I'll bring my earphones and I just won't talk to anyone, and I'll really try get into it. But we're lucky with Blood and Water that we have such amazing directors who are not only like amazing visionaries in terms of they can see the bigger picture. Because I think a lot of, well, I haven't worked with a lot of directors, but I would imagine that a lot of times it's more about like how it like comes out, not actually the process.
Yeah, and what's happening right now.
Exactly, where I feel like our directors in Blood and Water really focus on the process as well. So like Nosipa will guide me through like what is happening. Like she actually cares about like what is happening internally, because she knows if I'm feeding it, it's gonna show.
Yes.
You know? So yeah.
The other guests I've spoken to as well of people who've been in the industry for quite a long time. They've done a lot of work. They've reached their own sort of milestones and success. You are sort of still at the start of
I'm
your
a
career.
baby.
You're still at the start,
like,
but
I just have my teeth.
In the same breath, you incredibly successful, right?
Thank you.
But there's a whole life still ahead. How do you see yourself, your career playing out? What is the vision you have for the future for yourself?
It's so crazy you asked this, because I actually had this conversation with Adidas the other day.
Yeah.
And just talking about how it's so incredible how the world is just opening up to Africa. And I think before, as a South African actress, you were very limited in terms of like how you could dream and opportunities that could come to you.
You had to limit yourself.
Yeah, almost. And if you really wanted to like, be ambitious and go out there, you actually had to leave the country and like go stay in America and go stay in England and pursue that.
And that is
very
difficult.
Huge, like
a lot of money,
bro. Like that is a huge chance you have to take on yourself.
Yeah.
So we're lucky that we are in a time where the world is actually coming to us.
Yes.
And things are happening for us, and we have Netflix that is coming here. I'm pretty sure Amazon, Disney Plus, like all these people are actually coming out here to sort out talent. So I see myself more on that line. I definitely want to represent Africa on a global stage. Like I've always said this in my interviews. I kind of view myself as an African actress more than just a South African actress, because it's like it really has opened up in that way. You get what I'm saying? It's really has opened up in that sort of way for me. And I would really like to feel that Africa feels represented by me, by my story, by looking at things that I'm doing and feeling like, oh my God, that is our child. That is a person that we saw, you know, when she was like this little girl on Blood and Water, and now look at her. Because it really has been Times Square. You know, Times Square. Yeah. I like the fact that we keep bringing it up. Maybe one day it'll happen.
We manifest.
But the fact that like, even like with Blood and Water, like the opportunity that has given me is like people in Nigeria know me, people in Ghana, Kenya,
people
like
in Brazil
all
as
over.
Well, if you go that way, but Africa.
But even in Africa, and like they resonate with it. It's not just a thing of like, oh, you're a South African actress. It's like, oh my gosh, it's this girl who looks just like us, who, you know, we relate to. And I really want that to be my journey. I really want to represent like Africa as a whole in becoming like a global actress or global star.
Amazing.
I guess. But never leaving. Like I never want to leave. That's the thing. Like I've always said, like even if I act, like I'll go work in America. And
then I want to come back.
I'll definitely come back. Like 1,000%. South Africa is where like I see my future, is where I see my life, and
and it's just getting bigger and better now. I think for young actors starting now, this is a very exciting time.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot happening. A lot of people are coming here. A lot of people are shooting in Cape Town. Like there's never been a better time to
be African,
be an African actor.
Now,
yeah,
1,000%.
Wow,
how lucky are we?
Yeah, well, I'm lucky. I'm sort of part of the conversation as well. I'm hitting my stride now for the first time as well. I'm done with the Afrikaans work. I'm moving into.
You are so incredible. Like you are so talented. Even as Chris, I cannot imagine them like casting someone else but you in that role, because you've really like taken it and amazing.
It's a fun character.
And I believe you. That's another thing. Like you know, some people like they can actually like pull off their roles and like I can see you acting whatever, but I believe you as that spoiled rich kid who's just like going through an identity crisis.
I'm not sure if it's a good thing, but I'll take it.
No, definitely.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot though.
Especially since like you're so different to like Chris's character.
Yeah,
well, not really. I think like you're both very funny and very charming.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
But once in my life, I was a Chris sort of as well. I wasn't always a good person, you know.
Really?
I think when I was younger, I was quite arrogant and had a lot of issues, you know. But a lot of that has helped me to become a better actor, a better
100%.
person, and it's only been in like the past couple of years that I've really dealt with a lot of things. You know, I carried a lot of weird baggage that I didn't need. And it all sort of started back then. When I talk about that whole thing of like New York and whatever, it's because that sparked something in me where I realized I stopped dreaming. I got to a point where I thought I've reached the ceiling.
I remember we had that conversation.
And it was a difficult thing. I was struggling a lot with it because I stopped dreaming, because I stopped believing that there was more out there for me. And since I've changed that, my career has changed, my life has changed, my relationships have changed, because I started believing, I started thinking and sort of creating my future in my head before it starts manifesting in my life. And I'll always remember New York because it changed something in me. Like it's a funny story and all that, but
it's an hilarious story.
But honestly, that not in that moment, but down the line, it sparked something in me that changed my life. And that's why I'm inspired by you, and why I also wanted you on the show is like, because I appreciate that self-belief so much, and look at it manifesting in your life now. It's happening.
Yeah.
So I sort of want to wrap it up with, what's the number one lesson sort of you've learned? That this podcast is obviously to teach people out there, young actors, young artists, people trying to break into the industry, people trying to make it. What's the one thing you've learned that you carry with you that you feel like, man, either I wish I knew this earlier, or this is something I'd like to share with someone that I hope will help them on their journey?
I think it's so simple, but believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself.
Yeah. Always bet on yourself. You know, you need to believe you're great before anyone else sees it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not to say that like, and it's crazy because I don't think, even when I was speaking about the New York thing, I don't actually believe it. Like, it's not like something that I actually saw happening, except for that moment when I was in New York. Yeah. And I was standing there.
Like,
that's
this
the only
would be
time.
Amazing.
Yeah. That was the only time that I actually believed that it would happen. But obviously when I come back home and reality hits.
Forget about it.
And I like, you know, I was a waitress as well. That's another thing people don't know. Like, I've actually worked like a lot of odd jobs.
Yeah.
Like just to,
Yeah.
So when that kind of happened, you're like, yeah, Times Square. You're busy cleaning tables.
Yeah, that dream seems far away. It's not
so
a fly,
far.
one flight to
You
New
get what I'm
York. It's like going to Mars.
It's like,
yeah.
yeah. So, but I feel like I've just always believed in myself.
Yeah.
I've always taken a bet on myself. Like even now I'm, like I've mentioned earlier, in a position where I really have to make tough decisions, let go of something in order to like see if this is going to work out.
Yeah.
But I want to take that chance. Like I
Yeah.
really want to see if this will work out.
Cool.
Like I did with Blood and Water and like leaving university. Like I took that chance. Like, okay, let me see if this is going to work out. And it did.
It's a lot of risk taking, eh?
Yeah, you have to take 100%. You have to take a lot of risks. You don't have, you have to, especially if you want to achieve something great.
Yeah.
With great risks comes great rewards.
Yeah.
And I think if you pray, definitely like seek guidance.
Yeah.
I'm someone who believes in, the world is so much bigger than just me.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I figured that out at a young age.
Yeah.
That like, it's so crazy because I was having this conversation with Kosi, right?
Yeah.
It's like the world has been around for millions of years. Right. And if you think about the lifespan of a human being, we're here for like,
it's so minuscule.
Do you get what I'm saying, dude?
So
if I'm here for 100 years, dude, that I'm lucky.
Yeah.
So 100 compared to like a million.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
And why am I stressing about this little thing? Yeah.
It's like I'm supposed to move something in
Yeah.
this time that I'm here. There's something I'm supposed to contribute to humanity or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think just always like seeking guidance. I pray a lot. I believe God has really blessed me with every single opportunity that I've had.
Yeah.
And he's told me before anyone has told me that you are worth it, that this is going to happen for you.
Wow.
And there's still things that God has spoken to me about that haven't happened.
Yeah.
I'm like waiting to see like,
Yeah.
okay, I want to see if this is going to happen, but I know it will because he hasn't disappointed me.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll start now. But I think believe in yourself, seek guidance from, wherever you seek guidance from. And I think the principles that my mom taught me growing up was respect, gratitude, and humility will take you far in life.
Wow.
Which is something that I've carried. You should always be grateful for every single opportunity that you work with. Always respect people that you work with and always remain humble. I mean, as much as I do that reputation is everything. You can be as talented as I don't care who, but if you are a nightmare to work with, people are not going to want to work with you.
Might get through for like 1 or 2 jobs.
That's the thing.
But eventually it will catch up with you.
It will. Like you're just going to be, you're not going to be worth the drama.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And there's always new people coming up. Like there's always something.
That's the thing.
That's the thing. It's like you are talented, but there's always someone who's more talented than you.
Especially when you're like still young.
Yeah.
Like there's still a lot of people
who are coming,
who's still studying right now. You're not old enough to be above them. Like
exactly.
We're in the same category.
Exactly.
Yeah,
100%.
And it takes one wrong thing, one bad day of you ruining your reputation
and being a diva and throwing tantrums,
and your career could be over.
And people just like, we don't want to work with her. She's not worth the stress. I mean, she's fantastic. She's talented, but we don't want to work with her.
I've built a career. Like every job I've been on, they've been like acting a little bit weird, but what a nice guy to work with. Like my reputation is solid.
1,000%.
I'm telling you, I've built a career on this.
Oh, me too.
You don't need talent.
I don't know, me too. Can I tell you, like even with Blood and Water and like Gomorrah, it's the same person who recommended me for both jobs. The same person who and it's crazy because I started off as an intern. I worked for that person. I was interning for them. And I just let them know that, hey, I love acting. I auditioned for one of the shows that they were doing and that wasn't the right show for me. This person saw me 2 years later and was like, oh my goodness. Like I remember this girl and, and that's how I got that opportunity. And even a lot of things like jobs that I've gotten, it's through people just speaking and saying, she's a very nice person.
Nothing is ever in vain. Do
you get what I'm saying? Even with Adidas, like, which I think so far is like the biggest collaboration in my career because I think it's something very special.
I think it definitely is.
No, 100%.
That's massive.
And it's a collaboration. It's not just like we want you to be the face of this campaign. They actually want to like build, like, walk with me in my career. But they were just saying like, every person that's worked with you have just said how lovely you are.
Wow.
And that's what's made us interested in actually getting to like know you and sit down and speak to you is because we just the things we've heard about you. So don't underestimate that. Like when you walk into a room, like respect everyone, be humble, and things will happen. People notice, people take notice of that. Yeah.
Ama, I think you are gonna have the most amazing career.
Thank
Although
you.
you've done amazing things. I can't wait to see you on that billboard in Times Square.
I'm gonna call you when that when that
I'm
happens.
waiting for
Like,
that. I want you to FaceTime me whenever that happens.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to seeing how your journey plays out.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
If that means anything.
That means the world.
And I'm really excited. And thank you so much for being here and sharing your journey with people. I know this is going to inspire a lot of people, get them thinking. This has informed a lot of people. So thank you so much for taking the time. And just stay the way you are and do amazing work and go win that Oscar and be on Times Square and do all the amazing things that I know you can do.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
I also want to say to you that thank you for having me. Yeah. And this is incredible to see you doing your podcast and just informing people about the industry.
Thank you.
And I really feel like this is like you found your lane and something that you're really passionate about. Because I know you're also passionate about production besides acting.
Yeah.
So shout out to you for actually creating opportunities for yourself. I think a lot of actors don't do that.
Yeah.
Which is dope.
Thank you, Ama.
Yeah.
That's it. You heard it here. Thank you for joining us. If there is another episode, we'll see you next week. Maybe in a month's time. But thank you for joining. Bye.
Bye.